Hey, it's Steve. Welcome to the Homespun Days, a place where we try to do things for ourselves, even though we probably shouldn't. All right, the too long didn't read, or didn't watch, I guess, version of this video is, can you repair a VOTOL 50-4 controller from controller failure? The short answer is, I don't think so. It did not seem to work. But in this video, I want to take you through the failure process, what I tried to fix it, or what I tried to do to fix it, rather, and then also what I ended up doing to actually get the bike back to its factory condition. Okay, so what happened? Well, I was trying to program the controller to get a little more speed out of it to make it safer on these North Carolina roads, and of course I broke it. Although at first it seemed to work really well. I got a little more speed, bike performed fine, and then when I parked it, changed one more setting that I of course did not write down what I changed. The next thing I know, it's throwing a controller error reading on the display page on the programming software, and nothing will turn. The wheel won't turn. But everything else on the controller seemed to be working fine. It would register changing between different modes 1, 2, and 3. It would register when you put the brake on. It did everything, but it threw a controller failure error on the display page, and it gave me a controller error reading of 008000200, which I've looked all over the internet for, and I cannot find what that could possibly be. So clearly I burnt something out, but I didn't know what, and I was going to try to fix it because that was the controller that I had, and I needed it to work, right? So I want to walk you through the process of what I did and all that I tried, and then again how I got it to work again under factory conditions. All right, the first solution in anything electronics is to turn it off and turn it back on again. So the first thing I did was unhook all the wires from the controller and let it sit a little while. Hopefully, my thought was that maybe this would, clear the error message, but it didn't. It seems to store everything in a non-volatile memory that you flash to, so that didn't work. Second thing I did was try reflashing the program with the settings that I knew did work from the original that I had saved. That also didn't work. It didn't clear the error message. The third thing I tried was reflashing the original program settings that I had smartly taken a picture of, uncharacteristically taken a picture of before I started messing with things in the controller. That also didn't work. Next, I browsed the heck out of YouTube and the internet trying to figure out what's going on with this controller. There are clearly some very smart motor scooter mechanics out there in the world doing great things with these VOTOL controllers. But they seem to be in Indonesia or China or Vietnam, and I don't speak the language. So they're doing some great things and explaining things in great detail, but I could not tell you what was going on in a lot of these different things. So even with the YouTube closed captions on, that just didn't work. So
Oke, kita cek speed 1. Ya, dapat 479, 480 RPM ya. Speed 2, 800.
maybe we should pay attention to that, right? Maybe there's something to know that out there in the world, people are doing great things with these relatively inexpensive controllers and setups. Maybe they're saving the world, and we're driving F-250s for grocery pickup. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows, right? A little bit lower impact couldn't hurt. So what actually worked to restore this Fly e-bike to its factory settings? Well, getting a new controller. These things are off the shelf. You can order them on the internet. I got a new one off of AliExpress. I ordered it on December 29th. It was here on January 5th here in North Carolina. I plugged it in and everything seemed to work pretty well, except the wheel was spinning backwards. So I had to hook up my software and my janky programming wiring again, and I put in all the settings that were originally there on the Fly e-bike, and at that point everything worked perfectly well. I went ahead and changed the HDC, the hill descent control variable, from 680 to 1000, and that seems to give me between 33 and 35 miles an hour instead of the 32 mile an hour max that I was getting from the factory setting on the e-bike. So that seemed to work. Everything was going well, and the bike works fine. Okay, so what did we learn in this experience? Number one, never trust me with electronics because things always tend to break when I'm working on things. But that's okay. That's part of the learning process. Number two, what did we learn? The controller that comes with the bike from the factory is not meant to be reprogrammed, but can be reprogrammed if you connect jumpers to the appropriate pins. This is an off-the-shelf EM50-4 controller that's been specifically tuned for these Fly e-bikes, and that's fine. The factory doesn't want you to program them. That makes a ton of sense. It's probably a liability issue. Number two, the bike will still give signals, turn on lights, beep the horn, do everything with no controller installed. So the controller is really just about moving the wheel. And I don't know why that's the case. I don't know why all the wires run through there then if you can give a turn signal without going through the controller. So it still works. And again, I don't know what good it would do you at that point, but the bike is at least that functional. I guess you can push it around or push it down a hill or something like that. Number three, AliExpress works better with PayPal than with a direct credit card. I had two failed payments before I used the same credit card through PayPal, and that seemed to work. You don't have to use PayPal balance on AliExpress, but just PayPal, and it ships relatively quickly. And here's the really cool thing that I learned is on a $2,000 scooter, even if you break the brains on it or destroy the brains on it, it still only costs $85 to fix once ordered from AliExpress, and it was plugged right back in, and we were good to go. So how often can you break a vehicle and fix it for $85 yourself in the driveway? So that's pretty cool. Learned a lot. Still worth the project, and that was neat. Thanks for joining us on this project where I screwed up a piece of electronics. Join us next time where I'll probably screw up another one. Stay tuned as I tune the scooter and try to get a little bit better performance and show you what it can do here in North Carolina. We'll be doing some speed and range tests in the future and seeing how much battery it eats up to go to the grocery store and everything. So, like and subscribe. I guess that's what they say. I don't know. All right. We'll see you next time.